Okay, so let me see. Let me take this off. Let me take this off and let me see if I can hear for some reason. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm just checking the volume, guys. There you go. Okay, cool. Now you're probably hearing an echo. All right, cool. We do have a little bit of a delay. Thank you for being here. I wanted to make sure that that microphone is working because you guys can hear me better, but obviously it's not. So, but thank you so much, guys. My name is Nestor Idome. For you guys who are just getting here and who really don't know exactly who I am, I just wanted to kind of brief you a little bit of who I am. I'm Nestor Inome from the MakeMoneyFromHome.com, and usually what we do is, we're gonna be getting on these masterminds from now on, helping each other get to the promised land, right? We want to get to where we want to be. We want to get to our dreams, be able to build a lifestyle, build richness, abundance. And the way we're going to be doing it is through basically helping each other build a home business. And the reason for that is because, as as I studied, being an entrepreneur for many years. I became a serious entrepreneur in 2005. Yeah, that's when I kind of became a serious entrepreneur, and I really started to study it. And little by little, I started to get to know more and more about myself, about what works, what doesn't work. And so one of the things that I see in being able to, to build the life that you want, be able to have everything you want, be able to give your family everything they want, and be able to go out there and help out the community, right? As little or as big as you want. In order for us to be able to do that, we have to become rich. We have to become part of the elite, right? For some reason, this is going off right here, but we have to, that's kind of how I see it, right? That's how I see it, where we must become part of the elite. We must become part of the rich, right? Because if we don't have the necessary funds, the money to be able to do what we need to do, then we cannot. I mean, yeah, you can help, right? Yeah, you can help if you're in no matter what level you're at. But if you want to be, if you want to help at your fullest potential, there, at least right now, how things are working in the world, you need money, right? You need money to be able to do the best that you can do, right? If you want to surround yourself with the best of the best, right? For a lot of, let's say, build your spirituality, right? You need that that money to be able to go out there and build that, right? Hold on for just 1 second, guys. These phones are going off. I got like multiple phones right here, and trying to turn it off because I have this phone, then the computer's going off, and then my other phone's going off. And so if I can just turn it off, that would be great. But if you guys have any comments, any questions, you need help with anything or anything like that, go ahead and just write it on the comment section below. I'll be monitoring this, and I will be more than welcome to answer any of your questions or something like that. But a little bit of my background before we get started. I want to say a little bit of my background, and also what we're gonna be doing here today. Just specifically today, I'm gonna be talking about how to how to get that breakthrough in your business when it comes to traffic and leads and sales. Okay, so if you stay tuned, I'm gonna go through that about how I was able to reach some of the milestones that I reached and some of the successes that I've reached. Okay, so stay tuned for that. But for right now, I just want to tell you a little bit of my story in order for you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from and get to know each other a little bit better, right? And when I got started, like I said, I had this dream, right? I had this dream. I wanted to, be able to work from home, right? To be able to stay at home with my kids, be able to stay at home, take my wife out to dinner and go on vacations, and be able to change also the world, right? And I'll talk about a little bit more about that vision in a little bit right now. But as I was going through my entrepreneurial journey, I found this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that really opened up my eyes to the potential and the power of entrepreneurship, right? And that business was the way to go, right? Because no matter, if you're working for somebody else, that's great. And if you have a job that you love, that's awesome. But you will always be a little trapped because you don't have full freedom to be able to control your finances and whatever you want, right? The only control you have is if you want to make more, you have to go out there and say, hey, can I get a raise, right? Can I get a raise? Can I get more money? So that I can use it for whatever I want to use it, right? And so when you have that kind of you're in that type of position, it's very hard for you to be able to to fully implement your power, right? You to fully implement that power you have inside of you. And so this is why when I read that book, I was like, wow, business is the key. But that the thing was is that I really didn't know where to start, how to start, and what to do. So as I started going along, I was just like, I was trying different things, right? I was coming up with some ideas, and I was just implementing. I failed a lot. I failed a lot, like most entrepreneurs did, right, at the beginning. And then I started to, find some successes. I started to get some successes, and as I went along, some of the businesses started to work a little bit, right? Like I had a vending machine, and what I did is like I had these gobble machines, and I had soda machines and candy machines and snack machines, right? And I grew this business up to 40 locations around my city, and it was all good and great, but it still wasn't fulfilling inside me, right? It still was like, what, it's not really giving me what I want, right? So I kept on going. I was like, well, how can I get bigger, right? And so the economy was almost gonna crash, right? And at this particular time, I was going through some very difficult financial situations, right? Because I got married young, and my wife and I, we were, we had perfect credit at the time, and we had a lot of money going on that it was coming in from both sides of our jobs, and we were spending it like crazy, right? We were going all over the place, and we were racking up those credit cards, right? Because we were young, we had a bunch of credit cards. This is pre the whole collapse of the economy, right? And we had all these credit cards all going all over the place until it came to a halt when everything all of a sudden we found ourselves overwhelmed, couldn't sleep at night. We were just struggling, trying to make it happen, and we had to file bankruptcy. I mean, that's something that I really don't talk about, but we did. We had to file bankruptcy. Good thing that the way we did. It was a chapter 13, I believe, and we had to pay 70% back, right? But that let us, so we can keep our car in our home, right? At the time we had a home. And so as we were doing that, we still found ourselves, because we got this home with the whole credit thing, right? Where, no money down, no credit, and all this stuff like that. So we were actually having too much home for our little money that was coming in. But good, the great thing was that the homes were still so high that we were able to sell it at a profit. And that's when we sold that thing. We made a decision, my wife and I, we say, you know what, we got to do something. We got to do something better, right? I know this business thing is going to work. And so what we did, we sold our home, we bought a restaurant, and we started working on the restaurant, right? And for 5 years that took me. But the thing is that, not all businesses are created equal. Right, that's one of the biggest lessons I got from the restaurant, is that not all businesses are created equal. You have to really pay attention in what you want, pay attention to what you don't want, in order for you to get what you ultimately deserve and really want in life, right? And so when I was there, what happened is that it was worse than having a job. I was making way less than I was doing at my job, in my previous job. I was way less money, right? And plus, I was working like 70, 80 hours a week. I was working nonstop, 7 days a week. That caused even more problems than the money, right? Me being away from my wife, now me being away from my newborn daughter, right? That was causing way more pain, way more trouble, way more fights than ever before, than when we were just struggling with money. Right. So a lot of people say, you know what, hey, the number one fight people have is money, when it comes to couples. Well, I would say the number two, or the number one as well, is not being there. Right. I see a lot of couples where, they're either both working, right, trying trying to do their thing, right? Or one spouse is working a lot and the other one is staying at home or something, and that causes a lot of pain and frustration in the family as well. When somebody's going out there, trying to work so many hours just so they can have a house or something. And what I see something, and this is what pains me, this is something that I like to talk to people about, because one of the biggest lessons that I got from the bankruptcy was, it's like I needed to buckle down, I needed to learn finances, I needed to be able to control the money that was coming in, and be able to control my costs and everything in between, right? So what I see sometimes is that I see couples or people who are working mad hours so that they can have a nice home, right? Like a real big nice home. But for what? Like me, I was working 78 hours a week. I wasn't home. I would just come in. I would just basically walk in the door, all tired. I mean, I already had eaten at the restaurant, right? So I would come in. I would just basically say good night to my wife, go to sleep, wake up in the morning so I can do it all over again, right? And it's just like I never saw my wife. I never saw my daughter. I mean, I rarely saw them. It was to a point where my family members, right, like my brothers or my uncles and aunts, would come visit us, right, and they would stay with my mom, because we live in the same city, my mom and I, and my parents. And so what they would do is they would actually have to go to the restaurant, like, and spend time with me there. Like, I would invite them there. I would be like, kind of, hey, come on, guys, come and eat, spend some time, and I would sit down with them. That was the only basically time that I really had with my family was at my restaurant, right? And a lot of people, always saw me and always like, wow, you're so young, because I was in my 20s, like in my mid 20s when I had the restaurant, and people will always be like, "Wow, you're so young! Congratulations, that's awesome! Do you have a restaurant?" All this other stuff. Or actually, late 20s, mid 20s was the vending machine business. Sorry about that, but so they would congratulate me, and I was proud, because a lot of people, they want a restaurant, right? A lot of people do want restaurants, they do want a business, and they never get to do that. And I was able to do something that most people can't do, or believe that they can do, right? So I was able to accomplish that. I was grateful for my accomplishments, but inside my head I was living a nightmare, right? I was like, man, it's like, if you just would know the pain that I'm going through, the struggles that that I would give this all up like this, because it's I start to think like, man, maybe business is not worth it. Maybe this is all not worth it, because I got into the business arena to change my life, to make my life better, right? And maybe some of you guys are able to relate to this, because you guys are in the home-based business arena, and I know that in the home-based business arena, it's the same thing, right? It can be a little difficult, right? A lot of people, there's so many people out there who are preaching that dream but living that nightmare, and the nightmare's a little different, right? See, what I see in the home business is that most people have a job still, right? So they have to go to the job, and right after their job, what do? Right? They have to again leave their home so they can be in the car, driving from meeting to meeting, or from hotel to hotel, talking to random strangers, writing little circles on a napkin, right? Trying to, show the plan person to person, right? And only sponsoring maybe one, two, or three a month, if that, right? It was funny because I was watching this video one time, the Eric Worre from the Network Marketing Pro, and he's awesome. I love him, and he's amazing. But this one video that I was watching, that kind of like I was stunned to hear this, because he was interviewing this very big network marketer. I forgot his name, but they were interviewing him because apparently he had made a lot of money, right? And when they were talking, they were I love Eric Worre, because he tells it how it is, right? He just like in your face tells you, this is how it is. This is how network marketing. I'm not gonna fluff it up, right? You gotta get to work. You gotta take action, right? It's not just all fluffy and ice cream and cakes, right? And so he's talking to this network marketer, and he's asking him all these questions, and then he asks, it's like, well, how many members were you signing up into the network marketing that got you to this point? And he said, I'm trying to remember, I don't but he said about like 2 or 4 a month. And when I heard that, I was expecting a bigger number. I was expecting maybe 10, 15, 20 a month or something like that. But he said no, 2 or 3 or 4 a month. And then Eric Warren said like, oh wow, that, yeah, that's the standard or something. If you want to do it, you got to grow your business by 2 to 3. And I was just sitting there watching this video, and I'm like, what in the world are you guys talking about? Like, how difficult is that? How slow is this business, right? I mean, it's like, and the reality is that the reason that I saw that it's slow, right? And the only and here's the truth though, that the only way that I could have known that this was slow, and that I could have in the mindset that I was in what I was going through, was because at this particular point when I was watching this video, I was already associating myself and communicating with 6 and 7 figure earners in this industry, in the network marketing industry, but they're doing it online. And so I will be hearing something, through what I was doing and through the people that I was following, and then over here in the real network marketing world, people are still believing that 1, 2, 3, 4 customers a month is okay, and over here, this is what they're doing a day. So I was just kind of like blown away by like the difference of like how why aren't these people, why don't they know this information, right? That's my mindset at that particular point, right? I was like, how come, what's going on? Why are these people are able to sponsor 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day? I mean, me in particular, my base, I sponsored 3 in 1 day. I sponsored 3 in 1 day, right? I sponsored 2, in 1 day, but like my best is 3 in 1 day. And so I mean, over here, I'm watching this, and they're talking about like 3 or 4 a month. So I just I was just kind of mind struck with that information, that I was like, wow, how is that possible? And no wonder people are having so much trouble, because here's the thing, here's this famous powerful network marketer, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. I mean, I'm not talking bad, because hey, he deserves his props, right? And he he's made more money than I have. I cannot be judging. I'm not judging at all, like at all. No drop of judgment. It's just in my mind, I'm baffled, and I'm like, wow, because you know here's this like millionaire who's made a lot of money in the network marketing world, saying that 4 a month is standard, right? And that's what they're putting into people's heads. And so sometimes when I share stories of our teams, and I share stories of what the people that I'm associating with, right? And what we're doing over here, it's hard for a lot of people over here to believe that this is real. But the honest truth is that, see, here in this world, it is that's a standard because of the way that they're doing it. See, if I go out there and they told me they tell you, write a list of your friends and family, right? First of all, I know when you listen to the opportunity, you're like, you got really excited. You're like, man, I'm gonna be rich. I mean, who wouldn't want to do this? But the truth is, not everybody's gonna do that. See, not everybody is going to be interested in what you want. All right, it's the same thing. Like if you go to a restaurant and you're eating a nice juicy steak, right? It's done to perfection, right? And it's delicious, right? And you're eating this steak and you're like, my gosh, who wouldn't want this steak, right? But the truth is that there are a lot of people out there who are vegetarians, who are vegans. So no matter what you tell them, you will never in a million years convince them, or even in a lifetime, or the whole universe or whatever, would never ever convince them to eat that steak, right? So that's the same thing with a network marketer. When in network marketing with business, not everybody wants to be in business. Some want to be doctors, some want to be lawyers, some want to be teachers, some want to be truck drivers, there's some other people want to do their own thing, and they're happy with that stuff. And that's what you got to understand, is that this is why, even if you write 100 of your friends and family members, and you start to call them up, there's going to be a very small percentage of them who are, one, are going to be willing to go, and if they do go, it's just because they know you, and two, even smaller percentage that are going to join. And here's the thing: how long did it take you to write 100 names? Right? It would take me a while to write, to be thinking about 100 names of, like, personally people that I know from, like, warm market. And what happens after you go through everybody, and maybe you sponsor one or two a month, right? And out of those 100 people, right? And, what then? See, the next solution is we'll go out there and find new people, right? Go out there and look for new faces, right? So you go out there, but here's another thing. Here's another obstacle. What about if you're an introvert? What about if you are, what the heck are you gonna tell these people, right? So they give you these little pitches, right? Who's like, hey, you look like somebody who, who is good, who loves business, or somebody who would love to have an opportunity to make some money, or whatever the pitch it is, right? But now here's the thing. Let's say you are really good. Let's say you're really good at doing this stuff, and you go out there and you start to really talk to people, right? And you're really good at this, right? And you're getting people to go to the meetings. But here's the thing again: how many people can you really actively talk to on a daily basis? And here's the key: before you burn out, because you're gonna have to be out there, right? I mean, imagine, you can probably maybe find 5 easily, right? 5 people, 5 new people. You go to the mall, you go to Target, Walmart, whatever you're going, you can find 5 people, right? Who you're gonna approach, right? You can even find maybe 20 people who you're gonna approach, right? But then, can you approach more, right? Can you be approaching 20 people every single day, 30 people every single day, right? I mean, this is why I started to understand why in the network marketing, in the traditional, in the old-fashioned network marketing world, why 2 to 3 people a day, I mean a month, was like, wow. Because you got to be out there, like, hustling, right? Hitting the pavements, talking to people. Plus, once you're done with that, you still got the meeting. You still got to go to the meeting, right? You still got to do the presentations, or at least support your team in doing the presentations, right? And then you still got to talk to those people. And then once you come in, here's another thing. Once they come in, they're expecting you to know and have all the answers. See, then you have to think about it, sit down. It's like, and you're like, huh? And then, and then you're like, well, let's just go out there, take massive action, they say, right? And the truth is, a lot of people don't want to tell you the truth. This is why I like Eric Worre, because Eric Worre tells you the truth and it's in your face. But the thing is that it's very painful, very frustrating. That's why they say the 5 to 10 year plan or something like that, a 2 to 5 year plan, because it'll take you 2 to 5 years to get to reach that point. Once you know what to do and how to sponsor people really good, once you start to consistently do it, 3 to 4 a month, it'll take you 2 to 5 years to make a consistent income if you do the numbers. But here's the thing: it takes 2 to 5 years just to get to the skill set. that's the crazy part, because see, here we are coming from an employee mindset that we were taught from school. I mean, unless you go to an Ivy League school or something like that, like I didn't. I went to, like, LA County school, like in LA, in the LA County, the school, literally sucks, right? All they teach us, at least in my part, I don't know about the other rest of the world or in the part of the country, but in LA, they teach you straight up to be an employee, right? Most of us were Latinos, and they're like, hey, you're going to the workforce, right? I mean, they at least now they're starting to change, but back in the day, they weren't really pushing college either. They had us in junior high. I remember, man, and I got mad with this stuff. I was in junior high, and they forced us into this program. They didn't even ask us. They didn't even ask us or anything. They forced us into this program because it was in our best interest, right? And the program was to get us ready for employment once we got out of high school. Right, and what this program was is it was gonna teach us some sort of skill that the marketplace wanted. And we're not talking about like a doctor, no. We're talking about like a skill from like a factory worker or a construction worker, something that doesn't need a college degree, right? I'm not talking bad about those those jobs. I mean, those jobs are awesome. We need those jobs. What I'm talking about is the opportunity that they're taking away from you, right? The opportunity that they took away from us to make us our own choice. Because like, what about like me? Like, I don't want to do that. I felt inside myself that I was meant for something great. And for me to be going out there and I didn't want to be an employee. I didn't want to have a job, right? It's kind of like I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I didn't want that. And so to be forced into that, to say, hey kids, you're in junior high and we're gonna train you to be employees and we're gonna train you into doing stuff. This is what you're gonna do. And the things that they were teaching us was how to fill it like a job application and how to and put our resume stuff and everything like that. To the point when I got to high school, right? I was in high school and I say I want to take typing. I want to learn how to type, how to do a typewriter or something. Oh no, that's not on the program. Your program is for, you had wood shop. Like I was forced to take wood shop. I love wood shop. I mean, to be honest, I did love that class, but I was like, you know what? I want to do something else. And they would not let me do anything else because my curriculum was wood shop, because they were training me so I can go into the work world and become a worker. Not a career person. That's in LA, right? Back in the day. I don't know how they're doing it right now, but so that's kind of like the ideology that we're coming from. So when you come into the network marketing world, when you come into the business world, you have all these mindset stuff that have been brainwashing you throughout your whole life, that you have to be an employee. Maybe it wasn't as much as like I had when I was in LA, but it is like this. I see it all over the place, where it's like, go get a job, go get a career, right? Become an employee. I mean, it's just like, go back to college, right? If you're not making money or something, then you gotta get an education and go find a good, secure job, right? And so when people come into the network marketing world, we have this stuff. There's no way around it. That's the only thing that they're teaching out there. This is why it's so difficult to come here and to know the skills. And this is why it takes you like 2 to 3 years just to build the skills that you need in order to get to the point where you become a good network marketer, right? And once from that point where you're a good network marketer, when you are out there hitting the pavements, inviting people to meetings or something like that, it takes another 2 to 5 years to make it happen from there. And this is why, in the network marketing world, most people don't make a dime. Most people don't make a sign up. And the ones who do are doing 2 to 3 a month. And so it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So I saw that video and I was just like, just blown away from that, because my mentors over here are teaching two a day. And when I came in, right, into the home-based business, this is all I saw. It's like 2 a day. And this is what I'm focusing on, right? Building a skill from home, right? Not going out there, and then I see this video where they say, that most like the good marketers are doing 4 a month. I was like, wow, that's just crazy, right? So I know I diverged a lot from there, right? And I was trying to tell a little bit of my story. Let me check the websites here, right here. If you have, hey Terrence, how's it going, brother? So true, brother. Awesome, Nestor. Thank you for the comments, guys. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, leave your questions right there if you need to. But we're gonna continue on with this mastermind right here. I'm so glad that you guys are watching. But you know what? This is one of the reasons why I created this. The Elite Mastermind is to be able to free more people, be able to be in front of more people and become a mastermind of elite. Because then, we go back to my restaurant years, right? Where I was 7 days there, right? I was 7 days in the restaurant working, 70 to 80 hours a day. And most of the time I was either spending it, basically sitting there, because sometimes, I already created the prep, sometimes there won't be no customers or something. So what would I do? I was just sitting there thinking, right? Thinking about the future, thinking about how can I escape. I really literally sometimes felt like I was in jail because it wasn't like a job. See, here's the thing, it wasn't like a job where I can just say, hey, you know what, boss, boom, here's my 2-week notice, I'm out. I couldn't. If I walked out, Not only did my employees, because I did have employees, not only did they lose their job because I quit. It's the same thing like here in the network marketing world, right? In the online marketing world. If you quit, you're not quitting on yourself only. You're actually quitting on all your team, on all the people in the future, right? You're quitting on all those people, right? So when I was sitting there, I was like, man, I can't quit because if I quit, not I mean, yeah, fine, I'll be liberated, but what do my employees do? They're gonna have to go out there and look for another job or something like that. So I will sit there thinking about like, how can I escape? How can I do this? And one day I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, these thoughts came into my mind of how I saw the world, and how simple it is to be able to change it. Right? It is very simple to be able to change the world, but I also knew that it needed a lot of work. It was simple, but it wasn't gonna be easy because I needed to one, I needed to become rich, right? Because I needed money, I needed resources. Two, I needed to connect with the right people. I needed to become friends, to have the right connections that would enable me to be able to do the things that I must do in order to make the changes, create the changes in the world that I was watching. But here's the thing. I mean, it's like you see that a lot of things that are how you can create these changes is, here's the simplicity. Let me just say, here's the simplicity. If you can have control over the media, you can do mass changes. It's that simple. You can change in one generation. By the second generation, things could be done. But the reality is, right now, the media and all the other stuff is controlled by other people, right? That we don't have any control of, right? So if you can instill messages through music, through movies, radio, the web, online, schools, books, art, right? If you can instill the right message, you can change the world. But you need artists, teachers, broadcasters. You need actors. You need writers. You need all these people to be in sync. You need them to be in sync. Okay. And so when I was there at the restaurant, I was thinking, and I could see perfectly clearly exactly how to do it. And ever since then, I've been thinking and thinking and thinking, well, how do I do this? How do I change the world? How can I start to embrace? And so I was like, you know what? I gotta get rich, right? I need this thing to work, right? And so I was there, and I said, you know what? I need to change. And this is when I actually, started to just, think a little clearer, and say, you know what? If I also want to create a better life for myself, right? Because that's another part of it. Is that you have to create a better life for yourself, and then go out there and be able to change the world. Okay. And so when I was there at the restaurant, I said, you know what, it's time for this. How can I make this happen? And what I end up doing is I sold this restaurant. I sold the restaurant, and I secured my employees to be not to lose their jobs. Right. Actually, right now I sold it in 2012, March 30th, 2012, and some of the employees that I had still work for the same owner who owns it still. And so I feel very proud. I feel really awesome because they're still there. And even though I didn't want to be an employee, they love being an employee. I used to talk about them, about business stuff like that, but they just wanted to be an employee. Kind of like what I was talking about, right, with the steak and stuff. They didn't want that steak. They wanted to be vegetarians, right? They wanted to be there. So you're not gonna be able to change everybody. You're not gonna be able to do it, and it's not your job to change. It's not your job. What you must do is go out there and find the right people. And this is what network marketing is all about. It's going out there and putting yourself in front of as many people as you can in order to find the right people who are saying, hey, you know what, I like that, I can do that, I want that lifestyle, let me link up with you, let me lock arms with you. And that's what you're doing. You're focusing on that. So when you're going out there, that's what you're doing, right? That's what these people are doing, is doing that. The great thing about this is that the way that we teach it inside here, the way that we do it inside the vehicle that we're choosing, which is Empower Network, the way we're doing is we're doing everything online. You're more than welcome. You're free to do it however. If you want to do, home meetings or anything like that, you're more than welcome to do that. But we know that there is a simpler way. It's not easy. Like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason it's not easy is because it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. Okay. You know, there's different techniques that you kind of be able to do, right? Like for instance, my choice of marketing is through Instagram. I am able to reach thousands and thousands and thousands of people through Instagram, right? Without me even stepping outside my home. Actually, without me even talking in person with them. The only time I talk to people is when they join the team, and I'm just there to pick up the phone and say, hey, welcome to the team. You know, how can I help you? How can we get you to where you want to go? How can, you know, we get there as fast as you can? What do you want? What do you want out of life? You know, and let's get you there, right? That's the only times I pick up the phone. You can pick the phone if you want to. If you're good at that stuff, then I encourage you to do that stuff because it's fun, you know, if you're having fun. But if you're not having fun, then there's other ways to do it where you can be fun, where you could be fun. Okay. So the mastermind, the elite mastermind is that we are a group of individuals who are getting together to be able to change not only ourselves and our lives, to be able to find freedom, to be able to live the way we're supposed to live, right, in abundance, but also to be going out there and changing that world, right, being able to get together, right. My personal mission, one of my personal missions in this mastermind is to find those individuals who are gonna walk with me into changing the world in the future, right, in the near future, as close as we can get, as fast as we can get it. So that's one of my personal missions, but because you know that's my vision. You know, I want to change the world, and so I want to align myself with those type of people. But here's the thing, is that in order for that to happen, you might be that person. It might, right now you might not be thinking, hey, you know what, I don't want to change that future or something, but you might be thinking, I want to be rich, right? I want to have those vacations, I want to have those things, right? I want to travel, I want to have the nice car, the nice home, right? I want to do that stuff. And we're going to help you do this with the Elite Mastermind. We're going to help you become an elite person. And maybe we don't know, but when you become an elite, when you become rich, maybe you are that type of person who wants to align with me personally so we can go out there and change the world. I don't know. We got to get you rich first, maybe, if you don't feel it right now. Let's get you rich first, and then we'll start to move forward, right? Income disclaimer, guys. There's an income disclaimer all the way on the bottom of this page. I kind of been forgetting to say that. You're more than welcome to click on that, and it'll show you the average earnings of an Empower Network affiliate. And you know, because there's no promises in life, you know, there's no promises in income. I can't promise you anything. Anytime I talk about income, anytime I talk about a promise or a dream or something, you know, like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy because you got to work, right? We got to do some implementation. You know, with Instagram, I got to do some stuff, right? I mean, I'm not talking to people, but I still got to do some things, right? I mean, the great thing is that I can promise you this, that it's probably going to be easier than you going out there trying to find a bunch of people, right? Trying to find a ton of people, you know, and you know, be able to talk to as many people as I connect with on Instagram, right? Then you going out there. I can say that it's what in my viewpoint is way easier than going out there. And the thing is, Instagram's not the only place, right? There's Craigslist. There's people having a ton of success in Craigslist right now that I know, that I have contact with, right? There's a ton of people who are having success in Facebook PPC. There's a ton of people who are having success on Twitter, who have success on YouTube. So the reality is that, you know, you have to come to, let's say you come into the Elite Mastermind, into the team, and you have to just say, you know, what do I want? I suggest you do this. This is what helped me. Is ask yourself, what don't you like? What don't you like doing? Right? What are your weaknesses? Right? You know, you don't like to talk to people, like, you know, you get nervous, stuff like that, but you're really good at this, right? Then eliminate all the things that you don't like, and then we're gonna align you, right? What we'll do, we're gonna align you with the type of marketing that aligns with you, with what you're good at. Right? That you won't be doing the things that you don't like, right? So, I mean, of course, I'm gonna also suggest, you know, go outside your box, right? Try something new, get in your comfort zone. That's also great, because sometimes, like me, like video, right? I was very uncomfortable with video. It kind of attracted me, but I was very, very uncomfortable. And so at the beginning, I had a lot of trouble talking to a camera, right? Talking to, to just me here talking, and I got myself out of the out of the comfort zone, and I found myself that I was very comfortable in front of the camera. And so maybe that's how you can be, right? But then if you do it and you find yourself that you just like it's been a month and you just are having a hard time, you just can't control it or something, we'll find something better for you to do, right? Something much easier for you to do that. But the great thing is, and again, here's the thing. Online, the reason it's much simpler is because we use systems. We've got systems in place that do most of the heavy lifting for you. For instance, I'm a regular person. Okay, I don't consider myself like somebody great. And I'm not really good at like the selling and like the talking to people, right, and stuff like that. But there's people who are naturally great at this stuff, right? So the great thing is, this is why Empower Network is such a great vehicle to take us to where we want to go, right? Because in Empower Network, there's a ton of people who know what they're doing, who know how to sell, and who love doing it, and they're putting these systems together for us, right? And all you got to do is come in and use them and put it into practice, right? You don't got to create anything, right? You don't have to be technically inclined. You don't have to know all these other things, right? All you got to do is basically come in here, plug and play, start moving. You can literally start to collect leads as soon as tomorrow. I mean, as soon as tomorrow, your lead flow can start if you take action, right? Like I said, it's not gonna be easy, but it's gotta be simple. But I can literally bring you in, and if you follow exactly what I tell you, you can. I'm not promising you, because I don't know how you're gonna work. I don't know if you're gonna actually take the actions that I'm telling you about, but you can literally come in and start to get leads by tomorrow. At least one or two or three or something. And if you're consistent, your lead flow is gonna be like clockwork, right? Okay. And then here's the thing: once your leads come in, it's inevitable that the sales are gonna come in, because it's just a numbers game. It's like if you go out there and you're talking to people and you're talking to people and you're talking to people, somebody's gonna say yes eventually, right? Each no is you getting closer to your yes, right? So somebody's gonna say yes and is gonna go to the meeting, right? But then here's what happens when they go to the meetings. That person might say no in the meeting, so you gotta bring another one, and you gotta bring another one, and if you keep on bringing, somebody eventually is gonna say yes and it's gonna join your team. But here's the thing: you don't gotta go out there and do that stuff. You can do it from here. If you can do it from your computer, you can do it on your phone. I mean, I market when I'm at Disneyland, and the great thing is, like, I travel. There's also in Power Network, they do these events, and I traveled places, right? I've gone to Denver, I got to Vegas. I mean, Anaheim, they came over here. I mean, I travel with them, and the great thing is that you're doing this stuff, and you're building a business while still having a life, right? And I love that. It's all about automation. It's all about like being able to just live your life the way you want to live it. So what I want to encourage you to do right now is that if you're still here and if you're still loving this, then I encourage you to you get in and join me here in the Elite Mastermind. And the way that you do that is by clicking underneath this video. There's a link that says click here to join the Elite Club. All right. The Elite Club is going to give you the tools, the right tools, right, that you need in order for you to succeed. And the Elite Club, comes with the trademark Kalatu Blogging Premium. Okay, it comes with the Kalatu Blogging Premium. It comes with the affiliate already, so you can start selling, and it also comes with the inner circles. Okay, so the great thing is that it comes prepared with a tool for your business as well as a tool for your mindset. Because remember how I was talking to you about how we come in from the world of an employee, and they brainwashed us. See, brainwashing is not bad. It just depends on what soap you're using, right? See, when they brainwashed us with the soap of like an employee mindset, having to go out there, having to they sold us on this 40-year plan. Right? They sold us on this 40-year plan that hey, if you work hard for 40 years, when you're 70, and you're gonna be able to retire and finally have some fun, right? And maybe take some vacations between there. That's a 40-year plan, right? And people are eating it up like if it was candy, right? When here we're telling you, look, if you come in, we're not promising you anything, but here's something that David Wood, right, the owner of the company, he talked about, is like it might take you, 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe four. I don't know. It might take you a while to get your breakthrough, all right? But here's the thing. He said once your breakthrough comes and you understand it, it only takes you 60 to 90 days to hit like 10 grand or hit the goal that you want to do. And that is the beauty of this stuff. So if you come in and if you really pay attention, if you follow what we have inside, which are the 8 core commitments, if you follow them and you just work yourself and you listen to these audios, the inner circle audios, every single day, it'll flush out all the other stuff, and you're gonna be able to wash yourself with a new soap of success, a new soap of abundance, and you're gonna be able to put in yourself and inside your mind all the things necessary that you need to be able to succeed. The actuality is that you already have everything you need to succeed inside of you. So what it's actually gonna do is actually it's gonna bring it out. Because see, everybody was born with a seed of success. Everybody was born with something great inside them. And you have this seed. And what happened is that through society, through everything, they don't feed that seed. They force you to do something else. They force you to grow something on top of that seed that is not yours, right? They force you to just do that. So what you gotta do is you gotta rip that old plant or whatever it was, that weed that you had in your heart, you gotta rip it out, right? Throw it away, and then start feeding your soul, start feeding your mind, start feeding your seed that you have inside it, so it can start to flourish and grow. And one day you can be able to just become the tree of life, what you were meant to be, and be able to inspire as many people as you can, and all throughout the world. And this is why it's so important. This is one of our core commitments. We have 8. One of our core commitments is to listen to the inner circle every single day, because this is what's going to feed that. It's like you're watering your seed inside you with the right nutrients, with the right water. It's like you're taking it out into the sunshine. And every time you listen to another audio, it grows a little bigger. And you listen to another audio and it grows a little taller and a little stronger and a little better, greener, right? And that power inside you starts to grow and it starts to come out. And all of a sudden you see yourself 6 months and you don't really recognize you in the past because you already grown. Then you see yourself being more successful, and you 1 year, maybe you're not having success yet 1 year later, but all of a sudden, but you do notice that you're talking a little bit different, you're passionate more, you're just inspiring a little bit more people, you're having a little bit more followers, and you keep on feeding it, you're feeding it until one day it blossoms and you get your breakthrough. And that's when, in 90 days, in 60 to 90 days, if you just go at it as hard as you can, you don't stop, you just go at it as hard as you can make it happen. You can make all your dreams happen. All right. And it starts with that. It starts with you being able to just stop the pain, stop the struggle that you're feeling right now, and join us here at the Elite Club level, okay? If you, for some reason, okay, this is why I included this, okay, because I don't want to exclude anybody, all right? We're going to be going through the Elite Club. There's going to be audios that I'm going to be telling you to listen to. The first audio is going to be the, speak the world into existence, which is from David Wood. This audio is the one that I listen to, right? My one of my best friends in online, Terrence Freeman, told me about this. He said, listen, man, hey, listen to this audio for 60 days, for 30 days, actually. And so what I did is I listened to this audio in the inner circle called Speak the World into Existence. And what happened is miraculous. I started to listen to this audio, and it starts to, the stuff that it talks to you starts to, like I said, brainwash you and start to bring out the power. And before this audio, I was struggling to get leads, right? I was struggling to get sales. I wasn't really getting anything. I was getting maybe 10 a month leads, no sales, right? I was in a dry spell for like a good 6 months or so when was going by with me not getting anything, nothing. So I started to listen to this audio and I started to believe a little bit better. And I listened to this audio and I started to listen a little bit more. And I listened to it every single day, nonstop. And all of a sudden, what happened is that I started to, to find what was in me that I was good at and what I didn't want to do. And so as I started to do this, all of a sudden, I started to get leads. Leads started to come in. One, one, and then two came in one day, and then the next day another one, and then all of a sudden it was three. And I got excited. I kept listening to this audio. And then three, and then four, and then five, and all of a sudden I got 10 in one day, and I was so excited. And then boom, I got a sale. I was this thing cuts me off, but I believe I'm not on. Let me see. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna continue on. It's okay. So leads and sales start coming in, and this is why I encourage you to be listening to these audios. It's very important. It's very essential for you to be listening to these audios. And the great thing is that when you become a member of the Elite Club level, it already comes for you. It already comes with you, and all you got to do is tap into it. But like I said, for those of you, you might say, hey, you know what? Right now, I'm not, I'm not 100% sure. I just wanted this and that. I did put the other one where it says click here to try out the beginner club for only $7. All right, that's gonna give you some like an entry so you can kind of see it. It won't give you access to the Elite Club. It won't give you access to those audios, but it will give you access to the system, and you'll see the power of the system. And what you're gonna be able to do is just go in. Once you're in, there's gonna be a fast start series that I want you to go through. Follow the 4 steps. Okay, there's gonna be 4 steps. Follow those 4 steps. After that 4th step, it's gonna allow you to print out a form, fill out that